Gentlemen, if you would, and you are able to, would you please stand and uncover as we start with a moment of prayer? Mr. Jeff Free.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this afternoon thanking you, Lord, for a beautiful day. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our freedoms that were fought for. And Heavenly Father, we remember those men and women that paid that ultimate price tonight. And Heavenly Father, I pray that you would continue to be with their families as this time of year that Heavenly Father, they feel that loss more maybe, Lord, and I pray that you would continue to be with our country. I pray, Lord, that we would start looking to you for answers, Heavenly Father, instead of looking at man.
We heard Brother Centers talk about Colonel Shelton and so many others that are missing behind us as we view this POW MIA memorial behind us. My responsibility today is to tell you kind of a sad story. Congressman Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota reintroduced House Resolution 231 for the 113th Congress on May the 22nd of 2013. Now, this resolution was formerly known as House Resolution 111, but that died in the Congress in which it was introduced. And that was to establish a select committee on POW and MIA affairs. Congressman Bachmann did it the right way with a press release and great enthusiasm. The purpose of the resolution was twofold. It was to require our government to be accountable for all POWs and MIAs, and second, to amass support for POW-MIA issues, including the passing of House Resolution 231, which requires the government to establish a select committee on those issues. Now, the select committee would have been required to conduct a full investigation of all unresolved matters relating to United States personnel unaccounted for from the Vietnam era, the Korean conflict, World War II, Cold War missions, the Persian Gulf War, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, including MIAs missing and captured. Now, the select committee under this House resolution would have been comprised of 10 members, all of whom would have been appointed by the Speaker of the House. Not more than half of those members would have been from any one party. So as you can tell, this would have been a truly bipartisan effort, something sorely missing in Washington today. Well, let's take a look at the history of this, looking at where House Resolution 231 is today, where it came from, and what we can do about it. Back in 1992, keep that date in your memory, the Senate Select Committee on POW and MIA Affairs heard evidence that POWs who had been captured and listed as dead were in fact still alive. With regard to the possibility that American POWs survived in Southeast Asia after Operation Homecoming, the committee said the following: "We acknowledge that there is no proof that U.S. POWs survived, but neither is there proof that all of those who did not return had died. There is evidence, moreover, that indicates the possibility of survival, at least for a small number, after Operation Homecoming." And nothing happened. Also noted during this time period was something called the 185 report. This report contained information of the possibility that 185 POWs might still be alive as late as 1976. During the same time period, the Joint Casualty Resolution Center concluded that they had found the possibility that as many as 57 POWs could be alive as of 1998. Two fairly conflicting reports, but both noted that POWs were likely still alive. Further, in 2005, the Joint Commission Support Directorate concluded that Americans had been imprisoned in the Soviet Union. We know that with all this specific information from the reports was never acted on by the Senate Select Committee and was left to be forgotten by Congress and largely the American people, although the families of these POWs and MIAs and others would not let this happen. With this information, a campaign was started to ask the House of Representatives to form a House Select Committee on POW and MIA affairs in the 110th Congress. We are now going into the 114th Congress. New York Congressman Peter King championed the cause, and he introduced House Resolution 111, which called for that select committee. Thus, the fight to get co-sponsors began, and the veterans and the POW families began to see a little hope in finding the truth. Co-sponsors signed on to the resolution introduced by Congressman King on January the 30th of 2007. Hope was near, as 280 co-sponsors in our Congress signed on to the resolution, and we waited for that resolution to come out of committee and be sent to the House for consideration. Democratic Representative Louise Slaughter, remember that name, was the then chair of the Rules Committee. No action by the Rules Committee took place during that session of Congress, so the resolution died with Congress. So how do the veterans and their families feel? Well, I can only say that our representatives work hard to support us, or do they? With the 111th Congress, Peter King once again took on the sponsorship of the resolution. On February the 3rd of 2009, 2 years later, the resolution was introduced again. People started contacting their representatives to get them to co-sponsor the resolution again. Well, during the 112th Congress, 110, 111, you're starting to see a pattern here. 230 co-sponsors were obtained for the resolution that Congressman King introduced on February the 28th of 2011. So from the 110th Congress to 2011, Congresswoman Slaughter from New York was the chair or ranking member of the Rules Committee. Subsequently, Republican Pete Sessions of Texas became the chairman. So why is it that with a Republican chairman, we can't get this bill out of the committee? Well, we know that during the Democratic-controlled House, the Speaker, whose name I refuse to say, said she wouldn't allow any new committees. Control of the House is different now, but this resolution remains in the same status. It seems like they will never let this thing go to a vote in the House where we would be able to see their votes. Now just remember, they work for us, or sometimes they work for us. The remaining time, sometimes we think they work for themselves, with some exceptions, naturally. Real pressure is needed to get this legislation out of committee, and let's not leave this to die once again. We need to make our representatives know our true feelings and not just tell us that they support veterans and veterans issues. Once again, talk is cheap, and they can talk around this issue all they want. The fact is they need to show the veterans, many of whom are here, the POW MIA families, Colonel Shelton's family, and the nation that they truly care about this. We need to bring this House resolution out of the committee and to the House floor for a vote. Thank you.